You may recall that on the 12th of May that the government published a long-awaited immigration white paper called Restoring Control over Immigration Systems. So this document sets out a lot of proposals the government want to implement to reduce net immigration, rather to curb immigration, and also to make it harder for people to move and settle in UK. So for today's video, it's more or less like an overview, if you like, a recap of those proposals. I'll also be talking about what changes have come into place, like statement of changes published on the 1st of July and what that means to you. So this video, I don't intend it to be long, so because I'll be doing a series of video on the changes that has been introduced and what that means to you. But before moving on any further, just to say that the information, or rather this video, contains information only, and it does not in any way represent legal advice, whilst every effort has been made to ensure that the information on this video is accurate. Do note that we're talking about immigration here, so basically the information on this video might not suit your particular circumstances. Therefore, it is necessary that you do seek advice if you're unsure. Now, with that being said, let's just continue. Like I said earlier, on the 12th of May, the government did publish a set of proposals with an intention to reduce net immigration. So I'll be looking at what has happened since then. But before, for clarity, let's quickly look at what were the proposals. And then for this, I'll be looking away from the camera from time to time. So let's look at the proposal. And then after that, we'll look at what has changed, what has come into place since that proposal, if anything at all. So basically, in terms of the proposal, the government proposed to shrink the list of eligible jobs for skilled worker sponsorship. So this will be the list of jobs for which employers can recruit. Usually, they intend to shrink it, especially those within RQF level 3 to 5. So in a few minutes, I'm just going to kind of show you or kind of explain what the equivalent in terms of RQF is, regulatory qualification framework, which is not based on a person's qualification, but these are the level that the government kind of uses in terms of which job that skilled workers, or at level which skilled workers can be sponsored. So the second proposal was ending of oversee recruitment for care workers, and then a possible levy on universities' income from international student fees. So these were the proposal. The government proposed to place a levy on the income received from this university from international students, and also stricter sponsorship requirement for the universities. Graduate visa reduced from 2 years to 18 months. So it's currently 2 years. The government intends to reduce it to 18 months. And also stricter English language requirement. This includes the dependents. So for now, dependents are not required to sit this test, but the government is intending on changing this, the English language, the life in the UK test as well. So proposal to change that. Now, the most talked about one is extension rather of indefinite leave to remain, also known as ILR or settlement, from 5 years qualifying period to 10 years with some exception. And then the other proposal, support for highly skilled migrants, especially those applying through global talent route. So these are the key proposals. And so basically, what has changed since then, you may ask, in terms of this proposal? So let's take it one by one. So on the 1st of July, the government published statement of change. So these are changes that will actually come into effect straight away. And we do know that from the 22nd of July, some of these changes has actually kicked in. So let's quickly have a look. So what have changed since this proposal? So basically, in terms of effective from 2nd of July, skilled worker visa list revised, especially those within RQF level 3 to 5. So what does that mean? It does mean that in terms of the changes, that employers can no longer be able to recruit or skilled workers below RQF level 6. So I'm just going to quickly look away from the camera a bit, because I did say that I will explain what the equivalent of those RQF is. So let's just let me just bring up the page and I will explain. So what does that mean? So when we're talking about RQF level 3, level between 3 to 5. So remember the changes. So in terms of from 22nd of July, the statements of change and saying that skilled worker employers can no longer be able to recruit below RQF level 6. So what are RQF level 6 equivalent? We're talking about for level 6 is qualification like degree apprenticeship, degree with honors, for example, Bachelor of Arts honors, degree of Science, BSc honors, graduate diploma, level 6 award, level 6 certificate, level 6 diploma, level 6 and NVQ, ordinary degree without honors. So these are, so basically the changes is saying that from 22nd of July, employers will no longer be able to recruit skilled workers below level 6. Before they were able to do that, before 22nd of July. So let's quickly look at what is actually, when you're talking about RQF level 3, what is the equivalent? So the equivalent of level 3 will be like typical A level, access to higher education or diploma, applied advanced apprenticeship, AS level, international baccalaureate diploma, and the list goes on. So basically you also find this list on gov.uk website. So the changes means that employers can no longer be able to recruit below RQF level 6 unless that job falls under this the occupation shortage list. They'll be able to do that. Now for skilled workers already in UK, they are not affected by this, so they can continue to renew their visa and they do not need to meet the new changes at RQF. They can renew their visa, they can take up change employer without having to meet that changes in terms of having to meet the RQF level 6, and they can also take up supplementary employment. But do know that this arrangement is temporary and can be changed anytime. So this is the situation at the moment. Now, unfortunately, the one that has actually come to end is the care, overseas care worker recruitment that ends effectively from 22nd of July. So code 6135, which refers to care worker, and code 6136, senior care worker, unfortunately comes to an end, from 22nd of July. However, those that are already in UK can actually, be able to, do inter-country switching, without, any problem. So they can switch there, but there is condition. This is provided that they've worked for the employer for 3 months, so they will be able to switch. However, do note that this is just also a temporary arrangement and will end on the 22nd of July 2028. Now, other changes as well, unfortunately, if say for example a skilled worker that was recruited below RQF level or between level 3 to 5 or below RQF level 6 will not be able, effective from 22nd of July, will not be able to bring dependents. So that one has ended. Now you may ask, what about the most talked about proposal, the indefinite leave to remain? What has happened with that one? So for that one, we're still waiting to hear. So basically those changes might come into effect probably before the end of the year. The same thing with the English language requirement and every other changes. Like I've said, I'll be doing a detailed video on the skilled worker changes, the care visa changes, what it means to you, and also all the changes that were published in terms of with respect to statement of change. So I'll be doing a video on that one. So basically other changes that were talked about is a revised immigration skill charge that is yet to be introduced. So with all these other changes that are pending, that will probably come into effect towards the end of the year, and I will bring that information once I know it. Changes to family visa framework expected. So more changes to be expected, and I'll be bringing those information and doing a video on them when that happens. So for today's video, that's it really, because I don't want for this video to be that long, because I'll be doing more videos on in terms of the statement of change, what has changed. But we do know that from what I've said earlier, from the 22nd of July, just a quick recap, employers will no longer be able to sponsor skilled workers below RQF level 6. They would only be able to do this if that job falls within the shortage of occupation list. And also the skilled workers, those already in UK, or those who have submitted an application and that application letter succeed, can continue, to be able to renew their visa, below level 6, so they won't be affected. And also, unfortunately, like I mentioned, care visa, this is the code 6135 for care visa, and senior care workers code 6136, unfortunately came to an end as well, on the 22nd of July 2025. However, there's transitional arrangement that allows in-country switching, provided they've worked for that employer, they sponsored, the employer offering the sponsorship for 3 months, they're allowed to switch into these codes that are mentioned, and yes, they can do that. So basically, they can renew, they can switch into those codes, provided they've worked for 3 months, and they will not be affected. So that's it, like I said, for now. And I'll see you on the next video. I'll be doing a video. My next video will be on skilled worker, and I'll go into more details on what have changes. Now, if you like this video, and please consider sharing it to other people so they will know more about the changes, what has happened, and how that will affect them. So stay tuned. Remember, as I said, a disclaimer, this video is for information only, and if you do need further advice or advice on your particular situation, I will strongly suggest that you get advice and from immigration solicitor. Thank you for stopping by. Stay tuned. Bye-bye.